Welcome to the weekend edition of 767 News. I am Alicia George. Join me when 767 News returns for the latest news and updates.
A test of character, a test of focus, a test of will, a test of resilience, a test of courage.
Dominica, it's on. West Indies versus Australia, June 3rd to 7th at Windsor Park.
Tell them that it's on.
Thanks for joining me on tonight's edition of 767 News. First up this news time. One Dominican has died while another is in critical condition at a Miami hospital following a vehicular accident on Thursday. Raymond Astefan, 29, was one of two people who died from injuries sustained following a chain reaction crash on the southbound lanes of I-75 just south of the exit to Pines Boulevard. Meanwhile, 25-year-old Patricia Roll is in the intensive care unit. Patricia Roll is the daughter of William and Cheryl Roll, and Raymond Astefan is the son of Reginald and Jennifer Astefan in Dominica. The accident was said to have occurred at about 11:30 p.m. on Thursday, May 28th, when a trailer truck pulled in front of the car which they were in. Investigation indicates that while a tractor-trailer loaded with concrete walls pulled out at Pines Boulevard, the car driven by Astefan hit and went underneath. The top of the car was completely shed off after it slid under the vehicle and continued traveling for about 800 feet before running off the road. The tractor-trailer continued southbound when a second car hit the right position of the truck, causing the concrete walls to fall on that car, killing a teen who was headed home to Murmur. Meantime, traffic homicide investigators are working to determine who was at fault in the crash. The 767 newscast sympathizes with the family of the deceased and injured. And 222 students on Wednesday, May 27th, graduated from the 42nd Skills Training Program. Chairperson of the ceremony, Cesarina Paul, said this ceremony was indeed a record achievement for the program.
Undeniably, the Skills Training Program has impacted thousands of lives throughout Dominica, throughout the years that it has existed. Today, you will hear a status report on the Skills Training Program, and this report will chronicle some of these impressive achievements of the Youth Division and of the Skills Training Program. I therefore invite all of you today to enjoy the ceremony, but to remember to pay close attention to the importance of today's events, and that is to highlight and celebrate the efforts of Dominica's young people who have all benefited through the Skills Training Program.
Meanwhile, two of the graduates said they are grateful for the invaluable knowledge acquired during the training sessions. Sandy Joseph, who was a computer literacy trainee from the North District, in her remarks added that although it was hectic traveling from Calibishi to Portsmouth on a daily basis for classes, she was not deterred as she knew the hard work would pay off.
Prior to my enrollment in this class, my ability to maneuver through Excel was very limited. Today, I can proudly say, with the skills that I've acquired, I am now able to effectively complete the very same task that I previously relied on others to do for or assist me with. This is just a testament of how self-dependent, reliable, and disciplined one gets by becoming a part of the Skills Training Program.
Joseph said now that she is certified in computer literacy, challenges that once seemed unconquerable are now being conquered as her mental attitude changed from negative to positive. She said this change is accredited to the Youth Skills Training Program's social skills.
Fellow graduates, you have reached a milestone and you should celebrate this moment. You made a step in the right direction. You persisted even when you felt like giving up, and you finished strong. Keep the momentum and let that passion for learning and taking on new challenges transcend into every area of your life. Remember, your success depends on what you do with what you've learned. What have you decided to do? Let us spread the word. Tell a friend. Use the social media as a platform to share your personal growth that will somehow inspire others to take advantage of the same opportunities that you have had.
Meanwhile, Kishon Hector, who benefited from construction skills training in the West District, said it was a tough decision to quit his job as a construction worker. However, it is not a decision to regret, as he is now a contractor.
To those of you out there who sometimes feel like all hope is lost, since you did not receive a full academic education, let me assure you today that there is hope, and enrollment in the STP program is worth the sacrifice and hard work. Believe me, you will not regret it. You know, as young people, you have to tell yourself that nobody owes you nothing, and Youth Division is providing these skills. You don't have to reach out and take the advantage of it. Today I can proudly say that after 2 months of being on attachment with TFL Construction and Design, I was told that I will be kept for full-time employment. I owe this achievement mainly to the social skills. I owe this achievement mainly to the social skills session where I developed a good work ethic and which helped me to work better with others in the workforce.
Hector said during the program he acquired valuable knowledge and information skills useful in the construction industry. Other programs included spray painting, small engine repair, and auto mechanics. Various individuals who graduated from the program earned themselves full-time employment with companies they were assigned to during their internship. Awards were also presented to Child Fund Caribbean Dominica, J. Astafan and Company Limited, RNC Auto Limited, and the Granby Health Team for their continued investment and assistance towards the Youth Skills Training Program. Moving along, the media launch of the first ever Nature Island Food and Drink Festival took place on Friday, May 29th with a short ceremony at the Anchorage Hotel. The event, which is partly aimed at promoting tourism on the island with the development of a new niche, incorporates the Island Chef Competition, which has been ongoing for the last 3 years. During the event's media launch on Friday, Managing Director of Vetiver Incorporated, Carla Amor, said the event is scheduled to be an annual one intended to stimulate the culinary art scene in Dominica. The festival will take place during a 3-day period, taking into account tourism, health, education, and agriculture on the island.
We know what we are facing with obesity levels in Dominica. A lot of us are overweight. A lot of us are obese. 67% of our women, is the last statistic I heard, are actually obese. And a lot of us don't actually know that we are obese because we think we're just pleasantly plump or fat or something, a little bit overweight, but we actually are obese. And that is not about what you look like, it's about how you are inside. Another very important aspect is for us to grow our agricultural industry. A lot of us recognize that for us to compete on an agricultural basis in Dominica, it's very difficult because of our terrain. It's very hard work, our agricultural industry in Dominica. So we have to explore ways that we can do our agriculture in a more sustainable way, do it in a way that we can apply more technology. I mean, I'm not an agriculturist, I don't pretend to be. We can do it in a way that what we offer is of the highest organic, nutrient-rich level, so that we can actually charge what it costs us for our produce.
There are a number of activities planned for the festival, including a kids' farm-to-table experience and an Ital Food and Bushrum Fest. Several sponsors have come on board to support the event, including Platinum partner Digicel Business and Digicel Play.
We at Digicel feel that being involved in this event is to further embrace what is Dominica and what represents the people of this island. Local food being prepared by local hands with a local twist. To us, this is a great way to contribute to the sustenance of Dominican culture. To help ensure that this festival comes to fruition, we are contributing cash and are also giving in-kind support in a huge way.
Digicel Business will provide high-speed wireless internet as well as Digicel eye surveillance camera systems during the Island Chef Cook-Off competition. The Discover Dominica Authority is also on board for the festival.
We have been looking at color and the whole idea of the Island Chef for a while in its development stages. And from last year we started discussions a little more on what we can do as the Discover Dominica, as the arm of the Ministry of Tourism in actually promoting and marketing this event. And this year we have come on board a little more in discussions, in promoting, like I mentioned, in the marketing aspect of the event, because we see the cuisine niche as one of the major niches in Dominica for growing our tourism industry. And this is based on looking at the region and international aspects of cuisine.
The Nature Island Food and Drink Festival will run from July 2nd to the 3rd. 767 News will bring you an update on the list of activities scheduled to take place in a subsequent newscast. And a fundraising initiative organized by the fundraising arm of the Dominica Cancer Society, Because We Care Dominica, has been postponed to a later date. The event, which is aimed at raising funds to assist uninsured cancer patients to access treatment and care, was scheduled to take place at the Champs in Portsmouth on May 30th. Tina Alexander, Vice President of the Dominica Cancer Society, has however informed 767 News that the event date has been pushed back to sometime in June to allow more artists to submit their work. To date, a number of Dominican artists and photographers have donated over a dozen art pieces and photographs to be auctioned online via eBay. The online auction began on Thursday, May 21st, 2015 at 7 p.m. at the Anchorage Creole and Jazz Word, Sound and Power event, and was scheduled to close on Saturday, May 30th at the Champs Hotel in Picard, where bidding for the art pieces would take place. The artworks can be viewed by visiting www.becausewecare.com. Up next, Rosamond sentenced to 3 years, 4 months in prison for indecent assault. More details when 767 News returns.
Play Daily 3 and get a chance to win daily cash from $20 to $100. For every $9 or more spent on Daily 3, you get a chance to win daily cash instantly. Up to $100 cash daily for 6 weeks. The more you spend, the more tickets you get, the better your chances of winning every day. Plus, there's a chance to win a refrigerator if you receive an entry form. Take a chance to win instant cash all day, all week for 6 weeks with Daily 3 Daily Cash promotion. Only from the Dominica National Lottery.
Are you into keeping fit and maintaining a healthy lifestyle? Well, tell us about it in the Quartz Fitness Selfie Competition. Take a selfie while you work out and post it to our Facebook or Twitter pages at Quartz Dominica. Write a few lines about how you keep fit along with your picture and get a chance to win prizes each week. Your access word is hashtag Quartz Fitness. Competition runs May 22nd to June 5th. So go ahead, keep fit and stay fit with Quartz, bringing value home.
Welcome back. Sean Pinard from Aroso South community has been sentenced to 3 years, 4 months in prison for the offense of indecent assault on a child over the age of 15. The maximum penalty for such an offense filed under Section 13(1)(b) is 7 years in prison. However, Pinard pleaded guilty to the offense, thus entitling him to a discount. The incident occurred sometime in 2012 in a public place. Peter Arlene, who represented Pinard, asked the court not to impose a custodial sentence on Pinard, who said he was not trying to have sex with the victim. Justice Errol Thomas stated that not imposing a custodial sentence would send the wrong message, citing the prevalence of sexual abuse of minors in a small society as Dominica. Meanwhile, the state is offering evidence against a prison officer and a female who were jointly charged with possession of cocaine and cannabis and intend to distribute the illegal drugs last week. Both defendants, Davis Coffey and Leslie and Gustav, had pleaded not guilty and were placed on a hefty bail. However, in court on Friday, police prosecutor Michael Loda informed Chief Magistrate Candia Correct George that the prosecution was offering no evidence, and as such, the matter against both individuals was struck off for want of prosecution. And individuals who are aware of instances of child sexual abuse and keep silent are just as guilty as the perpetrators themselves. This is according to Chief Medical Officer Dr. David Johnson, who added Dominica's sexual offences legislation must therefore be amended to ensure that all those who are aware of rape and or sexual assault committed against a minor and do not report it are guilty of an offence. Dr. Johnson, who was speaking at the stakeholders consultation in response to management of rape and sexual assault cases on Thursday, May 28th, said it can no longer be business as usual.
The public has been calling on leaders at all levels of our society to do more to what seems to be the growing problem of sexual abuse of our indefensible minors whose lives have been destroyed by some of our adults. Rape and sexual assault are criminal offenses. The majority of perpetrators are someone who is usually known to the victim. According to the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network of the United States of America, approximately 2/3 of sexual assaults are committed by someone known to the victim.
Dr. Johnson said a crime is a crime. However, it is one thing to sexually assault another adult, but quite an unpardonable crime to abuse and sexually assault a minor, and society has to condemn these acts of crime. He said no one, irrespective of relationship to the child, status in society, color of their skin or hair, financial power or other types of power, or people who know people, must be allowed to continue to commit these criminal offenses against minors.
In November 2012, at the Bridgetown Conference on Combating Sexual Violence Against Children in the Caribbean, coordinated by UNICEF, ministers of government and other government officials representing their respective countries, NGOs, human rights institutions, the private sector, religious institutions and leaders, researchers, academics, law enforcement, and other persons from the legal community adopted a declaration to combat child sexual abuse in the Caribbean.
The chief medical officer said that declaration called upon CARICOM heads of government to establish policies, mechanisms and programs for victims of child sexual abuse and their families to be able to access free of charge and in a timely manner high-quality social, medical and psychological services to facilitate the victims' treatment and reintegration into the family, school and community. He noted that even prior to the November 2012 Bridgetown Declaration, the Ministry of Health of Dominica had begun the development of a formal protocol for attending to rape sexual assault cases in Dominica. According to Dr. Johnson, as healthcare providers, they have an ethical and a medico-legal responsibility to victims of rape and sexual assault.
According to the World Health Organization, and I quote, victims of sexual assault require comprehensive, gender-sensitive healthcare services in order to cope with their experiences, end of quote. Sexual assault is by nature extremely traumatic to the individual. Hence, the victims need expert management to help them cope with their recovery. Invariably, healthcare providers are required to give evidence as expert witness in the court. Hence, we have an enormous responsibility not only to provide care to the sexually assaulted victims, but also to ensure that justice is served.
He explained that the criminal justice system and society on a whole must see healthcare providers as part of the solution in addressing sexual assaulted victims. According to Dr. Johnson, the protocol for attending to rape and/or sexual assault cases is just one of the many steps we need to take to help fight sexual assault in Dominica. And in other stories, knowing what to do in the event of an emergency can mean the difference between life or death, as time is always critical. With that in mind, General Surgeon and Managing Director of Urgent Care Dominica, Dr. Sam Christian, is currently on an island-wide drive educating people on the fundamentals of basic life-saving techniques.
And we're going to go to every school, to every church, to every organization, to every village. We were in Benz last Sunday, so that everyone who wants to learn basic life support techniques can learn that. And we have a computerized dummy right here. And if you go online, you'll see the demonstration program we had at the community high school. You'll see the demonstration program we had at the Wesley High School. And hopefully several departments and organizations have already come on board, lining up so that their staff and their members can learn these basic techniques, the Heimlich maneuver for someone who is choking.
Dr. Christian said the training is not equivalent of a fire officer and/or nurse. However, it is and will prove to be invaluable to all participants.
We're training every single man, woman, and child in Dominica who wants to learn the very basic life support, to learn cardiopulmonary resuscitation, the chest compressions, the 2 breaths, the neck tilt, pinching of the nose, blowing into the mouth, and just by tilting the neck, you can save lives.
Dr. Christian explained an instance which occurred 6 months ago where his knowledge on life-saving techniques came into play, which resulted in saving the life of a stranger.
11 o'clock, I was traveling home and passing by the Goodwill Savannah. And I saw a body lying almost in the middle of the street. Traffic had to pass around it. And there were about 20 to 30 people just standing there looking at the body. It was a motorcyclist who had crashed into the back of a parked vehicle. And I sprang out of my car, being a medical officer retired from the U.S. Army Reserve. I've had to take care of a lot of emergency situations. And they were just watching this body, for all practical purposes, as dead as a doornail. I looked at him, no sign of breath. So I came over, his body was distorted in a grotesque way. He must have had multiple fractures. His chest looked kind of swollen. And all I did, I put my head next to his nose to see if I could hear a breath. There was none. I asked whether they had called the ambulance. They said, everybody has a cell phone. They said, yes, the ambulance is on its way. And then, more out of respect for a corpse, I tried to straighten the body, and the next step was to cover the face. And all I did was straighten the neck and tilt the chin, which what that does is straighten the airway, which is normally at a right angle, going back and down. It straightens it and stretches out the tongue, and all of a sudden the person started to breathe. I heard a breath. And I realized that this guy's not dead.
Dr. Christian said following his effective execution of life-saving techniques, the fire and ambulance personnel arrived on scene and assisted in securing the gentleman to a stretcher, who was then transported to the Princess Margaret Hospital. He stated he listened for death announcements following the incident, keeping the date in mind, and did not hear anything which indicated that the gentleman had died. This incident, he said, was a perfect example of the importance of the public learning of fundamentals of basic life-saving techniques. Interested individuals can call Urgent Care on a telephone number 440-9133 or email urgentcare.da@gmail.com. And that's it for local news, so stay tuned.
Pay nothing for 90 days at Quartz Now. Yes, shop at Quartz Now and pay absolutely nothing down and nothing further for 90 days. That's no payment until August 2015. Plus, enjoy reductions throughout the store on a wide range of products. You've got to move and head to Quartz, because this offer's for 5 days only. Then it's gone. Nothing down and nothing to pay for 90 days only at Quartz.
Accurate, dependable. We go where others have not gone before. We bring you in-depth reporting on the stories that matter. Tune in weeknights from 8:30 p.m. to 767 News, with repeats at 10:30 p.m. and 6 a.m. the following morning. 767 News, Dominica's #1 news source, only on Digital Play TV, Channel 3. That was Larry with the latest in sports. Now for a recap of tonight's headline stories. One local dead and another in critical condition following a chain reaction crash in Miami. And over 200 students graduate from skills training program. And that's all the time we have for now. Until next week, drop us an email at media@767news.dm. Friend us on Facebook and be sure to like our 767 News page. From all of us on the 767 News production team, I'm Alicia George, wishing you a wonderful evening, a wonderful weekend, and thanks for watching.